Hi, this is Kym Watson from Ezeetrader. This is a video recording looking at the big data releases exclusively for forexbase.com. So, what are the main movers this week? The two big hitters? Well, we have already seen some of the large banks suggesting that the ECB will cut interest rates as early as this week in an attempt to reduce the strength of the euro, and particularly reflecting the inflation figures, which reduced significantly recently. Now, we've already seen quite a big move following the initial comments of that, having seen the euro top out a little bit, but we've seen it sell off quite a bit since then. That said, I think Thursday will be a very interesting day when this news comes out. We'll look at that closely in a moment. Also, later in the week, Friday, we've got the non-farm payrolls, delayed for a week because of the US shutdown, and maybe reflecting the budget talks and the government shutdown that occurred. So let's have a look go through Monday. UK construction PMI, with the UK figures now on the construction. We've got the services tomorrow. I do think we may have plateaued out a little bit here in terms of the amount of growth, or the potential for upside surprises. If anything, we may be looking more towards downside surprises, although we did see this come out marginally ahead, and the best since 2011, I believe. Tomorrow, UK services report again. This may just be plateauing out a little bit in terms of the potential of growth, but it is growing at a reasonable rate, or has been growing at a reasonable rate, well over the 50% mark. Again, it's a good tradable number generally. We can get some decent moves from it, but if it does plateau out, it may be a bit of a disappointment. We had some disappointment in a couple of results last week as they were released. In fact, we had no movement at all. This is followed in the afternoon by the US non-manufacturing PMI, which is effectively the services PMI for the US. Again, we do see some moves from this, but a 2.8% miss on the report last month just resulted in something like about 15-25 pip move, which is barely anything. And the weighting on manufacturing, although important, services is not important. It's the manufacturing figure that people are much more interested in. So moving along to Wednesday, and we got the UK manufacturing production number. This is quite a key figure. It does give some variable movements. I'll be watching it quite closely. Coming out at 9:30, it can give us. Last month I think we saw something in the region of a 40 pip plus move on a 0.9 miss. So it can be rather variable, but as I say, can give some good moves. But we're moving on really to the big day, and we start off at 12 o'clock with the UK interest rate decision. I think with the forward guidance, I don't expect to see any surprises there. However, at 12:45, if we're going to get a surprise, perhaps this is the beginning of it, if any changes are announced there. If it's not changed, we may see a temporary rally in the euro. But the real proof is in the pudding is at 1:30, and whether the Draghi and the ECB start taking a more dovish tone altogether, and we may see the euro sold at that point. Of course, we can't prejudge it until it happens. And then at the same time, just to confuse things, and I'm hoping Draghi's a bit late with his speech, sitting down. He forgot his notes last time, I believe. We could see the US GDP number come out, and that might give a quick shock beforehand. It's the primary GDP, so the most important number, and it'll be interesting to see what it reflects of concerns of the potential budget discussions at that time. Certainly, I think in the next quarter we'll see a downward graded fourth quarter. Okay, so the next biggie, and the second most big one, if you like, is the US non-farm payrolls at 1:30 on Friday. We saw a big miss on the delayed non-farm payrolls, which gave us a reasonable move. This figure has been toned down to 126,000 new jobs. It's not at the sort of right rate needed to stimulate and get the economy really rolling at that sort of level. And if it fails to get in even at that level, or only surprises by the, I expect we'll probably get quite a weakening dollar for at least a short time. If we get a big surprise, well, we could see the dollar fly, but either way, there'll be fireworks on Friday. Okay, I hope you have a great week. Speak to you next week. Bye for now.